April 1st, 2020, that is when the BS6 norms kick in, and every manufacturer is in the race to update their current lineup to meet the new emission norms. Today, we've got the Apache RTR 160 and the RTR 200 with us, and these models have been updated to meet the current norms. The question is, does this still offer the typical Apache riding experience? We are at the TVS track to find out. The changes are not just limited to the engine alone, which we'll get to later, as TVS has used the BS6 transition as an opportunity to lend the Apaches a new face. Let's begin by taking a look at the RTR 160. The Apache RTR 160 has always been a neat and well-designed sporty commuter. Well, with the 2020 updates now, this new LED headlamps adds a little more aggression to the entire design. The headlamp design is inspired by the TVS Dragon concept, and when you first look at it, you take a while to just make sense of this whole design. It looks aggressive, but at the same time, it takes a little getting used to. But once you're at it, it actually looks much better in the flesh. The LED system is quite interesting. You have the LED DRLs over here and the low beam over here, while the high beam is set over here. And once you switch to high beam, the low beam also stays on, so it gives you a nice and wide spread. That's what TVS claims. That said, I wish the quality of the plastics around this DRL setup could have been better. And in fact, the plastic surrounds in this whole cluster could have been of a slightly better quality. The 160's new checker flag graphics look pretty neat as well, and I've always liked it in this red shade. Besides tweaking the looks, TVS has also tried to improve rider and pillion comfort by means of a new seat. Now, since this is a sporty commuter, TVS has worked on enhancing both the rider and pillion comfort. So though the shape and the size of the seat are the same, they've worked on improving the foam density, which will enhance comfort over long distances. As was the case with the BS4 model, the BS6 RTR 160's fuel-injected engine feels eager to rev, also enabled by the new lightweight piston. The throttle response has become quite crisp, and there's a notable improvement in refinement, which is great considering the BS4 motor was also impressively refined. You see this big cylindrical area? That's where one of the two catalytic converters in the new exhaust system has been placed. Besides the changes to the engine, the new exhaust system is also responsible in ensuring both the RTR 160 and RTR 200 meet the stringent BS6 norms. Now, the Apache 160's motor has always been a delight. It's so smooth and so refined, and it was great in the BS4 model. Well, that same traits carry forward in the BS6 version as well. It's equally smooth, but at the same time, the fuel injection system is so crisp that the power delivery is lovely and linear. The engine's power and torque outputs are still the best in class, and despite a minuscule drop in both figures, there's no noticeable drop in overall performance. The RTR 160 still feels quick, but at the same time its delightful engine refinement, whether at city or highway speeds, continues to impress. What it also made the commute stress-free is the new glide-through technology, or GTT as TVS calls it, on both models. It basically allows the rider to crawl at low speeds without the need of any throttle inputs, which should be great in stop-go city traffic. While that sums up the changes on the RTR 160, TVS has thankfully refrained from tinkering with the suspension setup. Considering our experience about riding the BS4 version on bad roads, the ride quality will continue to remain pliant and absorbent, making the BS6 RTR 160 adept at handling the worst of Indian roads. Since comfort is one of the biggest demands of this segment, the Apache 160 is sprung on the softer side. And though there are many bumps on the TVS test track, there is one particular one that made the rear sort of make a little jiggle once you are leaned over. But it's not unnerving or unsettling in any way, and the Apache 160 still continues to handle in a very predictable manner. Speaking about handling, is the Apache RTR 200 that remains the sportier and more thrilling option of the two. In this BS6 avatar, it also manages to look more aggressive, befitting its Street Fighter image. The gloss black paint job looks great, and personally, I think the new LED headlamp design goes well with both bikes, but it looks especially good with the RTR 200's stealth theme. Now the seat here looks exactly like the one on the outgoing model. However, TVS has used a very clever technology wherein this resine and the foam underneath is formed in one mold as one cohesive unit. And what that does is that it prevents these crease marks that start to appear over a period of time. The RTR 200 also gets TVS's Smart Connect Bluetooth enabled instrument cluster that pairs to your smartphone to display turn-by-turn navigation, incoming caller and SMS alert, as well as a host of other information. In addition, the ride telemetry system also shows you your ride stats and even how much you have leaned the bike in the corners, though this works only if your mobile phone is connected to the X-Connect system and rigidly mounted to the bike. The RTR 200's BS6 compliant motor produces as much power as the BS4 engine. However, maximum torque has gone down by little over 1 Nm. That said, there's no perceptible downgrade in performance, and this motor still continues to entertain with its eager power delivery. Its rev-happy nature is quite addictive too, and I had a great time pushing the engine to its limit around TVS's test track. But what truly defines the RTR 200's experience is its stellar handling, and it certainly goes to show that you can have a lot of fun even on a small capacity machine. What also enhances the riding experience is the standard slipper clutch that makes it a joy to push hard and bang down the gearbox. While the performance and handling is great, I wish the brakes were up to the task as they continue to lack some of that crucial initial bite. TVS has managed to squeeze nearly the same amount of power from the BS6 motors as before, while conforming to the stricter emission norms. But more importantly, both motorcycles retain the typical Apache ethos. The design changes may not be for everyone, but there is no doubting the added features and smoothness. Predictably, both bikes come with a sizable hike in price, Rs 3,000 for the 160 over the fuel-injected BS4 160 and Rs 8,000 over the carbureted version. The new RTR 200 on the other hand costs close to Rs 10,000 over the outgoing model. But then again, the rest of the competition will face similar price hikes as well, and when they do, both the RTRs will continue to be some of the most impressive bikes in their respective segments.